Rev up your engines! Sharon Flowers Honda Girl says, Scotty, I'm a big fan. Love my '09 Honda. I bought it because I watched your videos. Have you ever been threatened or heckled by other mechanics? Well, as I was saying earlier, mechanics are kind of odd people. Now, in the real world, mechanics are always heckling each other. It's a game they play, right? So that no one minds. And it's usually pretty much friendly heckling, weird customers, oh, why'd you do this, right? But on the internet, it's another story. People hide some kind of immunity. They'll have fake names. I use my real name, Scotty Kilmer, but a lot of people will pick up names and they'll say horrible things about me, but that's the way that it goes. I had one guy calling me the king of morons, hiding in their little room or wherever they are and heckle people. It happens all the time, but it's like water off a duck's back with me. I'm used to it and I just ignore it. I'm here to help people out. Brian Phillips says, is there any such thing as proper care of cruise control? Back in the olden days, it was more mechanical. And you could go to the cruise control unit. It has a vacuum line that goes on it that's rubber. It could rot and fall off. The cable that pulled it could get rusty and you'd have to lubricate the cable. But today they're all electronic. So the only maintenance you have is make sure you have a good battery, the terminals are clean and tight, and that your alternator is charging. Get it checked every once in a while because everything else on them is just done by computers. And if you ever do find your cruise control stops working, first thing to check is your brake light switch because when that breaks, the cruise control won't work anymore. And you can easily change the brake light switch yourself. It's easy stuff to do. All the auto parts stores sell the things. Ivan said, Scotty, should I get a pre-GM Saab 900? You can, of course. It's really old. Now, before GM took over, the Saabs are pretty solid built. My physics teacher in high school had a Saab Sonnet. It had a V4 two-stroke engine in it. It was a cool little car, right? They were interesting oddball cars, and generally the people who owned them were a bit on the oddball sides too. They're old as the hills, and they're Saab. If you're in the United States, good luck getting parts for Saabs. Now, I know people in Sweden, they still have them. They say there's lots of parts around there, lots of junkyards with Saabs in them they can get parts off of. They can still get new parts for them. Fine. But in the United States, getting parts for Saabs was bad enough when they had dealerships. And now it's really hard to get parts for them. I'd kind of nix that idea. Andrew Justin said, Scotty, where's your tooth? It's gone. It was knocked out in a hockey game in Toronto 47 years ago. And I had an implant stuck in, but it came out. But good news, people. Yesterday I went to the dentist, did a big x-ray, and the screwed-in part that's screwed into my skull into your bones, and then the bones grow around them, that's all intact in one piece. So he just has to make a piece to go in there, and he's working on it right now. So I'm only going to look like an old hockey player or somebody from the hills of Tennessee, just on the street, for a little bit longer, and I will have a tooth back in place. Jeremy Chaos says, my '07 Lexus RX 350 dashboard's having cracks. How do you advise to fix it? Well, first contact Lexus. They had not a recall, but some of these dashes they were replacing because they went bad. But if not, you can't really fix it, but you can cover them up. Now, if you look around online, people sell everything. And in my old Toyota SR5, I got an entire plastic dash cover. It was the same as the one on the car, black, and it fit over the top. Put it on with silicone glue, and it looked fine for years. If you can find one of those or anything that goes over the top, go ahead. You really can't fix those cracks. Plastic is plastic. Become brittle and they crack, and you can't really fix them, but you can cover them up. Michael K says, where do you find torque spec? Okay, well, I use All Data Information System. I'm a professional mechanic. I pay so much a month for it, and then I just go and I look it up on that. That's the easiest way to do. Now, if you're only working on your own car and you're not a professional mechanic, you can get that information for your own car. You could print it all out and only pay for 1 year and keep it all printed out. They allow you to print it out when you get the information. So you can go that route too. It's not all that much money. If you had to pay like me every month for all of them, it comes out to thousands of dollars a year. But they do sell All Data DIY for do-it-yourself guys for one at a time. Benny in the Jet says, hey, Scotty, greetings from Miami. I have an '03 Miata with 23,000 miles. It shakes 65 to 75 no other time. Some call it the Miata shimmy. What could I look out for? Normally, it just means your tires are not balanced correctly. Have them balanced by a pro who knows what he's doing. Now, if it isn't the tire balance, believe it or not, it's a rare case, but I've seen it happen quite a few times. If your front end alignment is off, it will often shake 65 to 75, not before and not after, and it could be an alignment problem. More often, it's tires not being balanced right, or a bent rim or something. But if it's not that, it could be out of alignment. That can make them shake. That's rare, but it can happen, and only an alignment guy can do that. They have to be adjusted by thousandths of an inch using these machines that have lasers, the modern ones. The old ones had levels, and you had to sight line them. It was a real skill then. Today, they use lasers, and you don't have to have that much skill. You just put the computer stuff in, the lasers do it, and they tell you where to turn it, and then the computer tells you when you got it right. Thea Dennis says, Scotty, I got a 2011 Pathfinder. Sometimes the horn doesn't work and the controls flicker. Is this an expensive fix? Okay, well, it depends what's wrong. Horns, what generally happens to them is the horns themselves just wear out. They're naked, they're out in the atmosphere, under your hood, wherever, sometimes in front of the hood. They will go bad. You could just buy a horn, plug it in, and it stops. It works fine. It's just a horn. That's normally what it is. But if it flickers and you test the horn, positive terminal of the battery with a little clip on it, and put the other end on the positive and ground the horn, and it beeps all the time, it's not the horn itself. And if it flickers and that still beeps, you could have a wiring problem. That can get expensive. So what I advise people, you can buy a momentary on toggle switch where you touch it, it beeps, you let go, it turns off, and you could just run power to the horn from that. I do that all the time in most of my cars. When they break, I would always put toggle switches to beep the horn. I'm not taking the steering wheel apart and all that crap. It's too much bother. You can get a regular wire, stick a momentary toggle switch on the dash, and make it beep. Matthew Wall says, Scotty, what's your opinion on Mitsubishi? I am not really a fan of Mitsubishis for one main reason. They don't make all that many cars. Their now main owner is Nissan. Not the greatest company in the world either. A lot of the Mitsubishis are just rebadged Nissans. They're not all that good. I can't say that I'd want to buy one. They have a history of not lasting all that long and having problems, especially with their automatic transmissions, especially the ones that are just rebadged Nissans. They have Nissan Jatco transmissions, which are the weakest in the market, so I'm not a big fan. James Self says, Scotty, do you recommend full synthetic over conventional oil? Here's the thing. Back in the day, a long time ago, decades ago, when they started with synthetic oil, some of them had problems because they would leak or they would burn oil because the manufacturers of the synthetic oil, being a new thing, didn't put the correct additives in. But most synthetic oil is just regular oil that comes from the ground. It's purified by steam or acid. There's various ways. And then they call it synthetic oil. And it's more pure and it works better. Now, there is one oil, that pure platinum one. It actually is made from natural gas, synthesized into oil. It's a process that's relatively inefficient. They lose about 1/3 of the energy. The reason that they do it is because they would flare the gas off. It was a waste product. So rather than burning it, they turned the gas into oil. So they're making use of it, and it's kind of a nutty process, but at least they're using the gas that they burned for something else, better that way, and turning it from gas into a liquid oil, and that is actually very good oil. It's rather expensive. It is an actual synthetic oil, but most of them are just regular oil that's purified, so as such, they're better oils. And a long time ago, they figured the additives, and they don't have problems anymore. And the best oils in the world, those GF6 oils, it's a generic name, GF6, they're all synthetic oils, so, they are the best oils out there. Well, if you saw the video, a pedestrian runs in front of one of these self-driving vehicles in San Francisco. And miracles of miracles, it didn't hit him. It actually stopped. Now, I find the whole thing rather humorous because it was at the corner of Haight and Ashbury. If you know anything about the hippies in the 60s, Haight, Ashbury, and the drug culture, right? Of course, they blurred the guy's face, but you can see it's a skinny white guy wearing a hoodie with a scruffy beard. Well, I got friends in San Francisco, and they said they got so much trouble downtown there in that area with drugs and crime. Well, it doesn't surprise me that this guy just jumps in front of the car because he was probably hepped up on some kind of drugs. You can see the video, you can see he kind of looks at it, and then he walks back like nothing had happened, right? A normal person's going to be kind of in shock, right? This guy, he was probably so loaded he didn't know what was going on. Truth be told, the GM vehicle, the self-driving one, didn't hit him. It stopped. Now, GM's not giving any real information out, so we don't know how fast it was going and what was going on. But in this case, Knucklehead just decides to go out in the street in front of a car, not at a crosswalk or anything, just pop out. It did not hit him, I'll give him that. It's probably going pretty slow. Kind of shows two things. One is that the summer of love in Haight-Ashbury is long gone. It didn't last that long. Like, I think it lasted one season, and then the drugs took over and crime and all that, and they still have problems with it to this day. Now, San Francisco's rather congested anyway. You got to watch out what you're doing if you're walking or driving around there. I've been there numerous times. You got to watch what you're doing, just like New York City. Taxi cabs hit people all the time, and those are people driving because there's just people in too much of a hurry, and in the case of San Francisco, people too zonked out of their heads to know what's going on. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.